to... Man, I got to tell you, I love me some Monday mornings. Absolutely love Monday morning. Jumped up early this morning. Actually, I woke up at 2 a.m. I was like, nah, dog, we ain't doing that. We're not doing 2, man. You got to go back to bed for a little bit. So got up at 3, went downstairs, grabbed my hashtag Rise and Grind planner like I always do. Right there at the top of the planner, there's a quote submitted by an actual Rise and Grind member. We collect the quotes. We print them. It's my favorite part of the planner. And so I opened up my planner this morning. There was a quote from one of my favorite Rise and Grinders, Mrs. Tina Bacon. Tina Bacon's been running with us for a long time. She's made a lot of people smile. And she said this morning, what you do, this is the quote that she submitted. What you do speaks so loudly that I can't hear what you say. Ooh-wee. What you do speaks so loudly that I can't hear what you say. As soon as I read that, I thought, oh my gosh, man. Like my kids, right? I learned so much from my kids. My kids are a perfect example of this, right? They respond in our behaviors. They don't care what our words say, right? We might be like, hey, you all need to, you can't have candy at 8 o'clock at night. They'd be like, what you talking about? I just saw you eating a bowl of ice cream last night at 10:30. You know what I'm saying? Like it's your actions are so much louder than your words. And so in remembering that or reflecting on that this morning, I thought, wow. That is an incredible share, Tina Bacon. I appreciate you so much. And what a great reminder for all of us. You can talk the talk, but talking the talk ain't going to get you nowhere. You got to walk the walk. This week, we are doing a series called For Men Only. We're going to talk a little bit about this. What does it really look like to walk the walk, to be the man that deep inside we all desire to be? So I'm going to be talking to the men this week. Ladies, you're welcome to listen in. I ain't going to kick you out the room, but I'm just letting you know, me and the boys this week. Here we go. Let's do it. Good morning. How are you, my friend? See, there's no excuse for you not pushing yourself to the next level. In order for you to create a new you must have a new mindset. When teams come together, we can create things that are greater than the sum of all of their parts. Good morning and welcome to hashtag Rise and Grind. I am your host, Glenn Lundy. I am a husband to 1, a father to 8, and the creator of what is going to be the #1 most watched morning show in the world. It is 5:30 a.m. and I hope that you are ready to rise and grind. Good morning. How are you, my friend? Dude, today is Monday. That's right. Today is Monday, September 27th, 2021. And what's crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it'll ever be Monday, September 27th, 2021. So I want to make sure we make the absolute most, and I do mean the absolute most of this absolutely incredible day. Hey, I hope that you had an amazing weekend. As a matter of fact, go ahead and drop it in the comments. Let me know some of the highlights from your weekend. I'll make sure to review those a little bit later. I'd love to see, even if you got some pictures, drop those in there too. That would be great, right? But I hope you had an amazing amazing weekend. We had a great weekend at the Lundys. The weather was amazing this weekend. I don't know where you're at in the world. I hope the weather was good, but the weather here in Kentucky was phenomenal this weekend, right? Like high 60s, low 70s, a little bit of a breeze, sunny out. Beautiful, 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 beautiful weather. Weather was amazing. My son had a soccer game, which was cool. So we got to go out and do that. We had a bunch of sleepovers at the house. My wife is crazy, man. She's always got extra, like we have our babies and then she's got everybody else's babies. And it's just, it's this whole choreography thing that she's got going on. I'll just walk in. I'm like, how many babies do I need to know? And she'll be like, there's 9. There are 9 babies in the house. I'm like, okay, 9 babies. Good. So we started with 9. We're going to finish with 9. And that's it. That's my role, is to make sure that we start with 9. We finish with 9, right? Sometimes she'll be like 12. I'll be like, 12? What are you talking about? Why? Like, baby, it's crazy. So we had some sleepovers, some babies over in the house, which was great. I did some deep reflection work on Saturday morning. I got to spend like 2 hours just all up in my fields and really trying to sort out what the future looks like with Rise and Grind, Breakfast with Champions, my automotive side of my business, and doing some work with Sarah McCord and so on and so forth. So got to spend a lot of time reflecting this weekend, which was great. And I got to go to a beautiful wedding this weekend, right? Got to go to a beautiful wedding. My boy, Evan Walters, got married. Him and Destiny got married yesterday. It was really a spectacular experience. I mean, these two are so ridiculously in love, right? Like it's amazing how in love the two of them are. They've been together a couple years now, and it's just great to see them. Evan was my boy. I hired him at 19 years old over at Dan Cummins. I pulled him out of the detail shop, put him into sales. Now he's a finance manager. He's been their top finance manager for the last 5 years. The dude makes bank. He's 27 years old, making probably $500,000 a year, right? He makes bank. And he's just a really, really, really good dude. And so, at the wedding, it was fun to see them in love. It was also interesting. I hadn't really been with this group of people for a while. These were all my boys from Dan Cummins when I used to run the dealership. These are all kids that I hired that are all adults now, getting married, having babies, doing all these things. And so it was crazy. And during the party, there were quite a few libations going around, okay? Like quite a few libations. Like they started drinking early yesterday. And this reception, all right, this wedding reception went from 4 p.m. until 11. It was scheduled till 11. I said, bro, you having a 7-hour reception on a Sunday? He was like, bro, we are turning it up, right? So they were already a couple drinks in come wedding time. But as the night progressed, a lot of these sometimes quiet, reserved business men, they went from suited and booted, right, to loosening their ties, and they started to really lean in and say words like, I love you, right? Evan came up to me at one point with tears in his eyes. He just wrapped his arms around me. He said, bro, he said, I love you. Thank you so much for everything that you've done in my life, right? And so there were a lot of tears and a lot of very heartfelt emotions as the night progressed. Now, what's interesting about this is not normal behavior, especially for this group, right? Like typically these gentlemen are car guys, some of the best in the industry. They all make great money. They all driving around in Corvettes and buying, big old massive houses. Either Corvettes or fancy trucks. It is Kentucky. They're either a Corvette or a fancy truck, right? And they all have beautiful girlfriends or wives, and they got their dogs and white picket fences, all these things. And these guys are like filled with piss and vinegar. They're tough as nails. Like tough as nails all the time. Like these are the ones. My screen's messing up here. These are the ones that you expect, like when they walk into a room, when they all walk into a room, this is what it sounds like. right? You just know, you're in a room with a bunch of lions when these guys walk into the room. That's just how they're built, right? And so what I saw last night is a stark contrast. A stark contrast from the men that I normally see them as. Now, what's really interesting, though, is though it's a stark contrast, this isn't abnormal. You see, I've seen this all my life. Men typically don't display, discuss, or divulge their emotions as freely as they should. Instead, it tends to stay bottled up, covered up, right? Bottled up and covered up. I'm a lion, rawr, nothing can take me down. I ain't scared. No, I'm not feeling nothing. It stays bottled up, and regretfully, sometimes it blows. Sometimes it's bottled up and it blows up, right? My boy Coach Isaac was talking about that this morning. This one dude had his emotions bottled up and ultimately exploded on him last week, right? And so sometimes it blows, dudes. This is what we do. And to be honest with you, we're seeing this happen around the globe right now, like on a full scale. So the pandemic itself has stirred up a whole lot of emotions, right? Emotions that many of us don't know what to do with. As dudes, we're not used to processing all of these emotions in this way. And so though I would love to be able to speak to the ladies on this. I would love to be able to speak with and to the ladies on this. However, I can't. I can only speak to what I have experience with, which is I'm a dude, right? And you'll find this all the time. I only speak on things I have experience with. I speak in the automotive world because I got experience with that, right? I can speak on being broke. I can speak on being homeless. I can speak on making a little bit of money. I can speak on those things. And I can speak on what it's like to be a dude during this season. That's what I can speak on. And God really put it on my heart as we're going through this season with so much energy and so much emotion that I need my guys to come join me and let's talk through this week so that we can help get a better understanding of who we are and our role in this season of life as we continue to move forward. Fair enough? Fair enough. So with that said, I wrote a poem a while back. It was really funny because one of our Breakfast with Champions peeps actually shared this poem in a different clubhouse room just the other day and sent me a message about it. But I wrote a poem a while back. I wrote this poem like 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago. I don't even know. But I wrote it right. And I just want to share it with y'all again right now. The title of the poem is I Am a Man. Understand?
Man, understand. The day begins. Alarm clock sounds. My wife, of course, she's sleeping sound. I stretch my arms. My eyes, they squint. Then comes the message. From God, it's sent. It's time that I rise, so tall that I stand. It's time for me to be a man. The hours you see, there are so few. Each moment is precious and a debt it is due. I owe my life to my Father above. He expects me to shower this whole world with love. I am a man. Understand? As a man, I have duties. This can't be ignored. My children need playtime, a sin if they're bored. My wife, she needs kindness, and her hand must be held. She needs laughter and kisses, and her praises be yelled. I am a man. Understand? My co-workers need structure, a leader who's bold. They would rather be taught than to follow by scold. My dreams, they need action, or they'll never come true. And with God on my team, nothing exists I can't do. I am a man. Understand? I like cartoons and Xbox and movies and cars. I like Snickers and pork chops and pictures of Mars. When football is on, my attention won't wander, and I can't even recall last clothes I did launder. I am a man. Understand? But with all that being said, one thing remains true. I'd be nowhere in this life if I lived without you. God, you are my Savior with forgiveness and grace. You've transformed my life. There's no doubt that's the case. I stand before you today as the man you created, and I pledge in the end, Lord, you will be elated. I will love, I will prosper, I will lead as I follow. My children will laugh and my heart never hollow. My wife will be treated like a queen, that's a fact, and I will lead my co-workers with compassion and tact. My dreams will be chased with relentless desire, the whole time with purpose, intent to inspire. I am a man, understand? So now the sun's done, it sits in the west. I lay my head down, it's time I now rest. But before it's all over, to God I must say, thank you for creating the man I am today.
I am a man. Understand. Listen, this week, it's for men only. We're going to talk about what that looks like. Ladies, you can listen in if you'd like, but I'm throwing it to the boys. Before we go too far, though, you know what we got to do on this show? You know what we got to do? We got to do a little dancing. Now, for those of you on Instagram, you ain't getting no music. So I just look. You're like, what's this dude dancing to? There ain't no music. There's music on Facebook at Official Glenn Lundy, music over on Clubhouse. And for those of you that know and those of you that don't know, this is the part of the show where I need you to hit that share button. Hit that share button, because I believe if we can change the way people start their day, it'll make a massive impact on this planet. I truly believe that. And sometimes all it takes to change the way somebody starts their day is for you to hit that share button. This is also the part of the show where, listen, an object in motion tends to stay in motion, an object at rest tends to stay at rest. So I need you to get in motion. All right, let's go. Let's get the body moving. If you're running right now, run a little bit harder. If you're lifting some weights, add some extra weight. If you're laying in bed right now, get your butt out of bed. Are you kidding me? Get up. We got stuff to do. You've got stuff to do today. And you should be grateful for that, by the way. There's some people out there didn't wake up. So listen, your eyes are open. I'm going to need you to get rocking and rolling. It's also the part of the show where I want to say good morning to you. I want you to say good morning to me. Whether you're watching live or you're watching on replay, say what's up. I'll say what's up back. Good morning, Derek Williams. What's up, Joyce Rose Wallace? Thanks for the stars. We're getting ready to go do some Rise and Grind offline here pretty soon. What's up, Dora Maria? How you doing? Rodney Rock Hatfield and Sean Weatherby. Trendy Trend is in the house this morning. Great to see you. Tabitha's here. Shauna's here. Krista Bug, Jeff Baker, Marilyn Wilkin, Deidre Buffington's in the house. Linda Sims. I see Michael Bryan Schiff. Thanks, Michael. I see Michael Huey is up in here. What's up, Miles Michelin? Great to see you. Ann Farrell in Nicely is up in here. Wendy Bloom, Navia Green. Great to see you. Wine Nick Chick is in the building. When I pop over here, I see Kate and Dr. Nook. I see Steven is in the building and Lolita. I see my man Ram Castillo is in the building. Ram is an incredible podcaster. I see Tosh is in the building. Tina's in the building. I see Shannon and Mariana. I see my boy Marvin from overseas. I see El Michelle and Crystal Sakar. What's up, Devin Rodriguez? Great to see you as well. Fab Realtors up in here. Christine Elliott is up in here this morning. I love it. Krista Bug, Joan Goebel. We got all the folks up in here today. We are surrounded. I'm loving it. Oh my God. We got big numbers all the way around. Big on Insta, big on Clubhouse, big on Facebook. That's what I'm talking about. Let's change the way you start your day. Speaking of big numbers and changing all the things, I would love it if you would join me. We're setting up and building out our 1,000th episode of hashtag Rise and Grind celebration. We're going to do that episode live in person in Lexington, Kentucky on November 5th at the Central Bank Center. Central Bank Center. It's going to be an amazing celebration. It's going all weekend long. I would love for you to be there and come check it out. So go to breakfastwithchampions.live. That's breakfastwithchampions.live, and you can check out the event. You can also check out our Breakfast with Champions podcast that is rocking and rolling. You can see all the things that we're doing. Go to breakfastwithchampions.live. Until then, let's finish today's episode of hashtag Rise and Grind and really crack open this series of For Men Only. Fair enough? Fair enough. Let's do it. Man. Oh. My mic's acting up right there. I should be able to hear. Okay, there we go. All right, sorry about that. Man, biblically delivered onto earth on the sixth day, arguably, of creation. Right? There's a little argument about it. Some people say third day, some people say sixth day. The way Genesis reads in the Bible, if you read it wrong, you feel like he comes after the seventh day. So there's it's a little, arguably, okay? Arguably on the sixth day, man is brought to this planet, right? And immediately, right out the gate, the very first thing is man is then challenged with naming all of the animals, everything that exists on Earth. He's challenged to name all those things right out the gate. Like, hey, welcome to the planet. Need you to drop a name on all these things, okay? Then from there, he's knocked out cold, right? The Bible puts it nicely. The Bible says that he went into a deep sleep. Look, God knocked him out, okay? Like he was knocked out cold. Y'all call it a deep sleep if you want. They also call those a coma. They also call those when you get a concussion, when you get knocked out, right? So he got knocked out. So he's like, boom, I exist. Boom, I got to name everything. Boom, I get knocked out cold. Then all of a sudden, the rib is removed. He wakes up and his rib's been removed. And woman, the beautiful woman, is now created from his flesh. Now talk about some pressure. You want to talk about some pressure? Now listen, religious or not, I don't care if you believe this story or not. I really don't. It's got nothing to do with anything. Religious or not, this is the basis of man in America. Okay? This is the basis of man in America. This is the pressure and the weight that has been put on you and I. Because I'm just talking to the boys today. If there's ladies in here, I apologize. You might be in the wrong room. I can't talk to you today. But this is the expectation that has been put on us from the very, 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 very beginning, whether you're a religious person or not, whether you believe it or not, right? The basis of man is that we were brought here, we were immediately given the authority and immediately given the responsibility to name all the things. Then we were knocked out cold, humbled, right? Humbled is what that's called. Knocked out cold, humbled, woke up, rib removed. We got this woman, right? And so that's a lot of pressure right at the gate. And I believe, in my experience, this is the expectation societally that we feel is on us, right? Like I personally, as a dude, and my guess is some of you resonate with this, you feel like you must be first. You feel like you must be authoritative. And you feel like you must be a provider. Is that accurate or no? Go ahead and drop it in the comments. I want to make sure I want to make sure I'm not the only one. As a man, do you feel pressure to be first, pressure to be authoritative, and pressure to be a provider? Because from what I've seen in my experience, society tells us this. Society tells us this, and also tradition tells us this. And from my experience, and I'm guessing yours too, because I'm seeing it in the comments, Sean's like, yep, dead on. Rodney's like, yep, that's exactly how I feel. Tim Hunt's like, facts. Yep. Miles is like, of course. Okay. So society tells us this. Tradition tells us this. And emotionally, we feel this. Jeff Baker says yes. Don Sankey says yes. Brad Smith says yes. Derek Williams says yes. Okay, good. I'm not alone. So society tells us this. Tradition tells us this. And emotionally, we feel this. And I'm here to tell you something that someone else might not tell you in 2021. Here's what I'm here to tell you. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with feeling as though you should be first. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with feeling as though you should be authoritative. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with feeling like you should be a provider. There's nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, I think that there are some things wrong with other messages besides that. Like there are some messages out there that are saying, hey, you know what? You should just be comfortable being in the middle. Like, be comfortable being in the middle versus striving to be the best? I'm sorry. I don't align with that message. I think you got to strive to be first. I'm not saying that in a competitive way. I'm saying that in a building and growing excellence within yourself way. You should strive every day to be first. Don't go fight the fight just to be last. Don't run the race at all if you ain't going to run for first. Being comfortable in the middle versus striving for excellence, I'm out on that. Participation trophies, I'm all that whole, it's not whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game. No, it's not. I'm not about that life, man. I can't play that way. My son's coach put it best the other day. He said, you know what? We are going to have fun out here. We're going to have fun by striving for excellence and by winning. That's fun. Look, brother, no way. I'm out. This whole idea of taking a back seat and relinquishing all responsibility is not sustainable as a man. It's not sustainable as a man. I'm just telling you, it's not. As a man, there is a burning desire in your DNA. A burning desire in your DNA to be first, to be authoritative, and to be a provider. Your ancestors and your ancestors' ancestors and your ancestors' 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 ancestors, all the way back to the beginning of time, were fighters, were warriors, were survivors, and were providers. Now listen, some of this gets confusing in today's day and age. Women are equally, and in some cases better, at doing some of these things than you and I are. Just to clarify, I am surrounded by powerful women that are better than me at so many things, maybe everything. So I'm not downplaying a woman whatsoever. Like my company, I was looking at it. It's me and Brandon and Rob, and then we're surrounded by powerful women. At home, my wife, like unbelievable, right? I'm surrounded by daughters. So some of this can get confusing. Women are equally, and in some cases better at some of these things than you and I are. And I am no way saying that they can't also be authoritative, be providers, be first. I'm not saying that at all. But listen to me, men. Society is selling a lie to you, and it is detrimental to your future. So, men, I want you to hear me. I want you to hear me loud and clear. We're going to talk about this today, and we're going to talk about this all week. You are called to 5 things as a man. You are called to 5 things. I'm going to break them down real quick, these 5, and then we'll dive in this week because I'm running out of time. 1, humility before God. Yes, you are a man. Yes, you cool. Yes, you got strengths, but you ain't God. The second thing that you are called to is to control your appetite. You lustful fools. What the heck is wrong with you? Get yourself under control. I get it. I understand. These women that came from the rib, they're a part of the flesh. And believe me, we can all enjoy that flesh. But man, you got to control your appetite. Get yourself under control. Demeaning women and thinking women are just flesh and bone, just meat that you can do with what you want. Have you lost your minds? Number 3, you need to protect your family at all costs. no matter what that looks like, from any and all threats. Some of those threats might come in forms that you don't necessarily recognize. You must protect your family against any and all threats. That might be a governmental threat. That might be a virus threat. That might be whatever type of threat. Protect your family. You are not allowed to take a back seat in those areas. Number 4, you are called to provide for your family. Okay? You are called to provide for your family. Now, listen, again, I'm not saying you got to make more money than your spouse or I'm not even saying that. I'm saying you must be a provider. What do you provide to the relationship? What do you provide to the market? Like, you got to be a provider. It's in your DNA. Sitting back playing video games, eating freaking Doritos, and doing nothing doesn't work. It is not sustainable. Period. And number 5, you are called to lead your family. My wife made a post just yesterday, I think, or the day before. So we had a lot of struggles when it came to our littlest baby, Caroline. She's 8 months old now. There was a lot of struggles. She couldn't feed herself. She had some things wrong with her tongue. She couldn't nurse right. She wasn't gaining weight. So my wife, man, every 2 hours got up, hung like things around her neck, tried everything to get this baby to nurse, right? Constantly just trying to feed the baby, trying to get weight on the baby. Literally for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, was up every single 2 hours, doing all the things, taking the baby to the doctor, going to all these different appointments, getting the baby's head reshaped, doing some chiropractic type stuff, doing everything, right? She's literally done everything. She has carried this baby around on her hip for the last 8 months. She has done everything for this baby. I have done maybe 5%. I've held the baby, changed a couple diapers, but because I couldn't feed the baby, because I don't have the parts that can feed the baby, mama has been in charge of the baby. This weekend, guess what that baby said first words? Dada. Dada. Over and over, looking at me, pointing at me. Dada. 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 And I was like, oh man. Yo, you gonna get me in trouble, Caroline. Your mama done put more work into you than probably any of the other kids. And the first thing you gonna pop off is dada. Here's my point though. We are called inherently, biblically, from the beginning, to lead the family, man. To lead the family. And there are next generations that are watching you, men. They're watching you. They're watching how you treat your spouse, your girlfriend. They're watching how you talk about other women that you don't know. They're watching your behaviors. They're watching your grind or lack thereof. They're watching your words, your actions, your mannerisms. Over here picking fights with each other over Democrat, Republican, vaccinated, not vaccinated, all these different things. Dude, the next generation is watching you. You are called to lead your family. It goes back to the very first thing I started this show with, the quote from Tina Bacon. What you do speaks so loudly that I can't hear what you say. It ain't about talking the talk. It's about walking the walk, men. And so this week, we're going to dive into what that looks like. The way that you need to be carrying yourself in today's society so that ultimately, not only can it make an impact right now, but we got generations after generations after generations of babies that are counting on you. They're counting on you. So listen, we're dudes, right? We can talk about this stuff. And I know sometimes it gets a little weird. We like to bottle up our emotions. We don't like to get real. We don't like to get raw sometimes when it comes to how we feel. Well, we're going to dive in this week. This is a crazy season we're in, and there's a whole lot of feelings, and we're going to talk about them. And we're going to educate ourselves on the proper way to carry ourselves in this particular season so that we can lead our families, so that we can provide for our families, so that we can protect our families, so that we can control our appetites, and most importantly, that we can continue to be humble before God. Listen, that's today's episode of Hashtag Rise and Grind. I apologize, I went a little bit over. Men, the women that stayed in the room, I want you all to know I do love you. If nobody's told you that yet today, I want to be the first. I absolutely stinking love you. And it is out of that love that we will have some of these tough conversations. So we're going to continue to talk about this over on Clubhouse. If you'd like, you're welcome to come join me over there. Otherwise, make sure you share this sucker out, and I'll see you back here again tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m. We're going to do this all over again on hashtag Rise and Grind. Fair enough? Fair enough. Let's go.